How's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody's doing well. Question. When we say, I'm being unapologetically me, do we realize what we're saying? Do we know what we're saying? That's my question. That's I don't know. I guess you could say that's been a question for a while, right? We hear it all the time. I'm being unapologetically me. I'm being unapologetically this, right? I just want to say I want to come from this point, right? When we say that, are we taking ourselves down to being an item? An item meaning something that doesn't change, right? Something that's gonna be what it is until the end of time, until that thing no longer exists, right? So let's think of a rose, right? Let's say we have a rose garden. Rose garden is beautiful, right? We give roses as a gift, you know, you know, Valentine's, birthdays or whatever. We give them as gifts to show, you know, that I'm thinking of you, you know, maybe I love you. Sometimes, I like you a lot. However we give that item, right? Because a rose is going to be a rose until a rose is no longer a rose, right? So there's beauty and there's also ugly in a rose, the thorns, right? So, but again, a rose is going to be a rose. It's not going to change, right? It's going to be that until the end of time, until it dies, you know. And an item, meaning, we cut the rose, we put it in a vase, some water, whatever we put in there for it to survive, and we put it for show on the table, wherever you put it, right? On display. People come by, oh man, those are some nice white roses. Those are some nice red roses, pink roses, yellow roses, all the different array of colors that they come in. And a week later, 2 weeks later, the roses are dead. And I need some more roses to make my table look beautiful, to make it look, again, to make it look, that's the key word, to make it look, right? So again, I'm being unapologetically me. So I based it to an item, a rose, and until I can get away with it, it's beauty, then I have to rush out, go home, get some more roses, put that item back on display again. And I fool people with my smile, or however I dressed, or my nice cologne, my nice car, my nice house, you know, whatever that item is that makes me look better. But then when it starts to die, everything starts to fall off. You get where I'm going? The leaves start falling, it dries out, it no longer looks good. Keep those same dead roses on your table with leaves all on the table. See what somebody say. Exactly. 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 Right? So we're not going to let this be an item, being unapologetically me. We're not going to let this be an item. So what I mean is we're going to change, we're going to evolve, we're going to learn, we're going to add value to each other. And then we're going to realize, okay, I see where this is going. We're taking these steps. Now I can say I'm 100%. And not even 100%. We can say I'm apologetically being myself without have to explain, without have to come back and apologize. The person is going to say, "Oh, that's them. That's them." Right? Now, the question I have, or how I would say I operate, because I don't want to pick on anybody or say any of this or that. I'm saying me, right? Because I used to come from a place, operating a place that was less than honor. I would say what I had to say to get my point across, um, and act how I needed to act to get my point across. So again, that's not being unapologetically me, because I'm letting my emotions control what I say and how I act and how I do things and how I feel, right? So I'm coming from a place of anger, of hurt, pain, suffering a heartbreak, however that heartbreak may have came, through a relationship, through the death of a loved one, just however it may have came. So that dictated my response, my actions, my emotions. So again, I'm not telling you don't cry, don't feel a certain way, don't don't we're going to, but don't let that be the item. Don't let that be the item of, but they just controlled by their emotions. That's them. No, let's let's be that way with honor, because I feel you can't have that without being operating in honor. You can't have that with operating in love, right? And in the past, I operated without any of those things. You know, man. Whew. Anyway, but let's operate in the place of honor. Let's operate in love. Then now I can say I'm unapologetically me. I love to laugh. I love to have fun, tell jokes, see funny stuff, do funny stuff. Um, and again, we also have a side to where, all right, let's buckle down and get this done, or to say what needs to be said, but it's coming from a place to where it's love, where it's genuine, and I don't have to come back and apologize, and I don't have to come back and be like, this is what I meant. Sometimes we can say things, and it might not have came out at that moment how we wanted it exactly. So yes, you can come back and be like, this is in the totality of what I really meant. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying to where I have to come back and I said the craziest stuff out of my mouth. The craziest stuff out of my mouth. No filter, no edit, nothing, right? So again, you have to come back, because regardless of how we look at it, there's repercussions for everything, whether it's good or bad. Now, if I have to come back because I had a bad repercussion of what I said, then that's not being, you know, unapologetically me. Because at the end of the day, I should be able to say something to you, you understand it, and it be nothing bad. Now, if it is bad, then I said and did the right thing. Then you're just being immature and childish, and you're not being what you so-called unapologetically yourself. So we have to add honor and respect in there, right? And honor is not for that person. Now, being honored is for that person, right? But operating in honor is a standard of conduct, right? Adherence to what is right, standard of conduct, fulfilling an obligation. You know, that means you operated in honor because you fulfilled an obligation. You said, I'll be there at this time and we're going to go here, here, and here. I fulfilled whatever that obligation may be. And we were held ourselves to that standard and to a certain conduct, certain code of conduct. We just didn't act willy-nilly in any kind of way. Like, perfect example. when kings visited different kingdoms. Kings when we had kings and queens. That's what we call ourselves these days, right? What's up, king? I'm good. What's going on, queen? I'm good. But we treat ourselves, we treat each other less than that. Sometimes we act less than that, and it's like, wow, okay, whatever. But when they went and visited, they they bought gifts. They bought gifts. Whatever those gifts were, they bought them and they presented them to the king because that was the standard, that was the conduct, and how kings act. Go to a king and you don't bring nothing. See what's gonna happen. And whatever you have to say is not gonna be heard. You might not even make it out of there alive because, oh man, this dude's so disrespectful. I dare he come and not act in this manner because I wouldn't have done that. Now I know we say, hey, whatever, but again, we uphold the standard and the code of conduct. I'm not gonna let you treat me that way, right? So you might as well either turn around or we finna have. I'm about to be the judge, the juror, and my executioner finna come out with the hoodie on, with the big axe, and he finna get down. He finna do what he do because he just love beheading people. That's what he do. He enjoy it, right? Hey, I'm not gonna disrespect my man's. I'm like, hey, we got another one, and I'm gonna let him go to work. Let him do what he do. Off with his head, exactly. So again, when we present ourselves to each other, are we presenting ourselves to each other in that code of conduct, in that standard of conduct? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But again, we just have to, you know, again, like I'm not just anybody you're speaking to. I'm your friend, right? Then you're not going to talk to me that way. We're not going to have this conversation to where it goes that way because you said something. Now, okay, I heard what you said the first time. I might not have acted like I heard it, but I heard it. Boom, water under the bridge. Second, maybe the third, maybe the fourth, maybe the fifth time. Now it's a completely different story, right? So now I have to act accordingly to show that, okay, this is my kingdom. This is where I rule. You're not about to take over, okay? It's going down. And however it has to end, then that's how it's going to end. But we can nip it in the bud before it even go that way, right? Yeah, I don't want to see no one. I'm not talking about no, no craziness, nothing like that. But at the end of the day, we can nip it in the bud and say this is not what we're going to do. So again, are we dwelling it down to being an item, or are we dwelling it down to something that evolves, something that learns, something that adds value to the circle of people that I'm around, and that's being unapologetically me. So again, I know we put it on a lot of things, and yes, it's true. A rose is a rose. It's unapologetically a rose. It's not gonna turn into anything else, regardless of how we feel and what we want to do. It's just when we stop it from being a rose, meaning its power source, it's dying. It's gonna die. It's not gonna stay alive in that vase. It's not gonna stay alive in that box until we put it back into the power source from which it came, the earth. Then it's not going to grow. Right? We groom it, boom, boom. That makes it grow even more, and that's what we're doing to each other, you know, and that's what happens when we stay connected to that power source. We groom each other, we're connected to that vine. We're being groomed. What's stopping me from growing? It's gonna fall off. It's gonna get cut off, and it may hurt for a second, but I'm connected to the power source, so it's not gonna take me years to to get over what happened. It's not going to take me years to realize, man, that was the best thing for me. Look how I blossomed. Look how I've grown. Look what I've turned it to be. I started as one. Now I'm a whole garden because I stayed connected to my source. I will allow myself to be groomed. Again, it might have hurt it. It might have hurt. But it was for my best. It was for my best interest. So let's take the item out of it. Let's connect. Let's stay connected to the power source. Let's grow. Let's learn from each other. Let's not be afraid and be in fear of being in relationships. And I'm not just talking about relationships where we're dating and we're doing this. I'm talking about a relationship to where I can say that's my friend. I love that person. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Those type of relationships. Again, we allowed somebody to use us as an item. They took me from my power source. They put me in a vase. They made me feel good. They made it seem like it was only me. Oh man, this gonna work. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. And they allowed me to die. And I know you're gonna say, "Oh man, you allowed yourself to die." Listen, I'm in a relationship, right? We feed each other just as much as um, I eat from the power source, right? That's what I'm saying. The power source. We have to feed each other. We have become that rose, and we're trying to blossom into a rose garden. So again, we're gonna have to groom each other, learn from each other, and grow to love each other. So we didn't reduce this to an item to where I'm put on a table and oh man, that's nice, that's beautiful. Oh yeah, that's nice. And then my leaves start to fall off in 2 weeks. Now I have to go get some more flowers, put them on the table. 2 weeks, you get it. Repeat. It's on repeat. It's on repeat. It dies, meaning I was let down, the heartbreak, the pain, the suffering of something that could have been avoided, right? If I would have just stayed to my power source and allowed myself to be groomed, you know, meaning I listened when, man, this don't seem right. It seemed like this person is just selfish motives, or you know, or this or that. Even when they did allow me, when I became an item again, if you return me to the earth, return me to the power source, I can start to grow again, right? So again, let's not allow what that word means to be an item, to be on the table, to look good, because it sounds good, it looks good, it sounds good, but then in 2 weeks it starts to die, and I have to be dead until I return to my power source. And we can easily return to the power source and be healed, become healed, and then try to put myself into another relationship to where I learn and I grow and I groom and I blossom and I say, man, wow, this person really loves me. This person really cares about me. And that's when I operate in honor and I operate in love. And I speak to that person from a genuine place. And there's nothing wrong with letting the person, hey man, hey, I love you, bro. I love you, sis. I appreciate you. I thank you. Again, like I say, we might not get everything, but we can learn from each other on what that word really means. And to me, that's what that word really means. So again, I hope you know, what was said could help you out, could help you grow. Again, I'm connected to the power source, so I'm growing every day. I'm learning every day. I'm still trying to become that garden that blossoms, that that operates in honor and continues to operate in love and honor and be who I was called to be. Reach my place of destiny, reach my place to where I'm a full garden and I'm connected to the power source. Right? Again, thank you. Um, I'll be seeing you soon. I hope that again everything that you're praying for, everything that you have dreamed about, that you're taking those steps to bring it to fruition, to have it manifest before your eyes. And I hope that you're taking this time that the social distancing, that you're away from people and not into our regular lifestyle of just and it's being interrupted, and you're learning something, and you're being connected to that power source even more, even greater, that you're deep diving more into your faith and more into your beliefs and how you want to operate and who you want to be and become that unapologetic person, and not being not becoming someone's item that's on the table, that's there for looks. You were created for more than looks. You were created to do. You were created to be. And I hope that you be everything that you were intended to be, and you continue to walk in love, and you have peace, and don't let anything take your joy. Joy is something that can't be taken from you. It's gonna hit you from all sides, but continue to operate, continue to be in that joy, right? Peace and love, and I hope everyone has an enjoyable, great night. I'm out.